Good morning. I'm Judge Person. I welcome everybody to court this morning, and I'll actually make announcements before we get started. I do want to I'm kind of talking slowly because I'm waiting for people's audio to connect, but I do welcome everybody to court this morning. And if you're here for a pretrial, there'll be what we call a breakout session. And that breakout session is where you will have a meeting with the prosecutor. If the case is not resolved today and remains contested, we'll move that case into court next. There are a few people I couldn't identify, and I just want to check in. I know I want to say Andy Garby, where are you? I think that you are with a law firm.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm with Kelly McMahon.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm that. Thank you. And then I also see, I think, attorney, let's see, on an iPhone. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. It's Blake Stone from Todd Tkach's office.
Okay, I recognize you, but Mr. Stone, I just couldn't remember the name.
Oh, no problem, Judge.
And thank you. Mr. Matson, I'm actually going to start you with Thomas Swain, and I'll let y'all get started since I know y'all know the drill, and we'll keep things efficient that way. And Mr. Swain, I know you know how to do things, so I'll let you move on over. I also see, let's see, Wing Tech, TMAF, etc. There's some numbers after that. I sent an unmute. Hi, can you tell me your name?
Daviana Seastrunk.
Thank you so much. Gotcha. Okay, I'm just going to change the name on the screen for this meeting, and it won't change it permanently. It just will change it this time.
Okay.
And we'll be with you shortly. And also, there was an iPhone named iPhone. There you go. And you've unmuted. Can you tell me your name, sir?
Sorry, one Alexander.
One tray of vanilla sprinkles and jelly.
Okay. And I'm going to keep folks on mute until it's their turn, just to keep things a little easier on the audio. Let's see. Okay. And is Elisa Condarco here? I'll look at that file shortly. Is anyone here on the John Lawrence case? Attorney Allen? Okay. So while they're meeting, I did want to talk to, let me see where we are. Wait. So a few announcements. Whenever you're pulled over or given a ticket or even summoned to a type of court like this one, which is a Class C court, those summonses or tickets are an accusation, okay? When you give a plea, you're giving an answer or response to the accusation. And there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. If you plead guilty, you're admitting that offense. You're saying, I did that, and you're moving forward without contesting any of the matters. And I'm moving into sentencing at that point. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. But just in terms of pleading options, remember, pleas are your answer or response. We are presumed to be not guilty, but when you enter a plea of not guilty, you're maintaining that innocence that the law presumes, and that case moves toward trial on a contested docket. And there are certain protocols and procedures that we're constitutionally required to follow. So we'll be following that today. And ultimately, if it's in the court, we'll also follow those requirements. If you plead no contest, or sometimes it's called nolo or nolo contendere, that means you're not contesting the charge. It doesn't mean you're admitting it. It just means I'm not contesting it. So if you plead guilty, or no contest, I'm moving that case forward normally with sentencing. Now, generally speaking, with sentencing, if you're being sentenced in a Class C court like this one, you're found guilty, it goes on your record, you pay the fines and costs. Now, in terms of payment of fines and costs, really, I'm looking at people's income and making adjustments very quickly. You were probably asked to disclose that information. That's in connection with a couple of different matters or concerns. I'm sorry, I have someone coming in and I'm going to let them in, but it's one person coming in on two devices. So I'm not sure how that can sometimes cause disruption. So just bear with me. And so as I was saying, I see Mr. Swain and Mr. Matson coming back out. So we'll take that matter up. Let me just remind myself who that is. I can't, I don't know how to say that last name, but Mr. Matson, Mr. Swain, if y'all could check in with me about the Eric Sung case.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Swain has an offer he's going to take back to his client, so we'll go ahead and reset. But I anticipate it'll be resolved before then.
If that is the case, and it looks likely, I know that doesn't commit anyone to either position. I'll go ahead and reset on this Zoom docket if that's okay. Would
Yes,
that
that's fine.
both of you?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Is December 19th too soon?
I don't believe so, Judge. That should be fine.
Okay. Then we will email that to you, Mr. Attorney Swain. Will that work for you, sir?
Yes, Judge, that'd be great.
Okay. All right, then I will let you go without further request, and we'll email that new date to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Attorney Garby. And this is on the Bhuvanapalli case. So I'll try my best there. Okay, and so I will move y'all over to that meeting. I'm sorry, Attorney Garby, let me confirm that your audio is working. If you could unmute.
It is working, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and so as I was saying, normally, I ask for income information for a couple of reasons. I ask on both dockets, the guilty, the not guilty, both, because there's two different reasons that we use that information. But anyway, in terms of sentencing and payment, I'm looking to see what adjustments legally need to be made, and I automatically do that even without a request. As far as keeping it off your record in a Class C court, there are 4 options. They are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Prior to your plea being accepted by the court, if you are asking to seek legal advice, we don't court appoint attorneys, but you can. If your plea has not yet been accepted, you can ask for time to meet with an attorney of your choosing. And the way that you do that is just to say, I need some time. If we're moving forward with sentencing, there are still 4 options for dismissal. Compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. Those laws say that the judge shall dismiss if you meet certain qualifications, which means that I would be looking for those dismissal possibilities, checking in with you about them to see if we can get you there, if it looks like you might meet the requirements under the law. An example would be a broken headlight. And being on time to court with it fixed could result in a $10 dismissal fee instead of the $100+ that ticket represents. So again, I'll be looking for those. If you plead guilty or no contest, I'll automatically do that. The second option is if you qualify for a driver safety course option. With the driver safety course option, you have to qualify to be in the program and then complete it successfully. To qualify, you do need to be on time and have the proper kind of license. If you successfully complete the program, it does result in a dismissal of a moving violation. We're allowed to do that every 12 months in Texas if we meet requirements and successfully complete the course. You do save money. It is cheaper than paying your ticket. You do have to pay court costs, but the fines get waived. And it's a pretty good program if you're moving forward and you're concerned about your record. I'll automatically assume that you're interested, and I'll start talking to you about it if it would appear that you might be qualified, because again, that law says the judge shall do so. However, what I will tell you there is, I can't make you do that class. So I'll talk you through it. We'll eventually do it all in writing if you're pushing into that program, but ultimately you have to follow the steps necessary for that to work and be of benefit. The third option is called a deferred disposition. Deferred means to delay, and disposition is to make final or dispose of. I delay making your case final, and I put a court order in place. The court order will list the things that are required of you in order to gain a dismissal. With the deferred disposition in a Class C court, you can ask the judge for a deferral on a plea of guilty or no contest. You do not have to ask the prosecutor in most cases, although you might. If you and the prosecutor bring that to me as an agreement, I often will and usually will sign off on them. If you ask me directly on a plea of guilty or no contest, I often will and usually do sign off on them. But there'll be things for you to do. And ultimately, the judge in a Class C court has discretion over whether you can have that benefit, and you must request it. So guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred is what that would look like. Okay. And then the fourth option is if you qualify and successfully complete teen court. It looks similar because there'll be things for you to do as in a deferral, but it works a little bit differently because we're talking about high school students generally. I don't think I have a lot of high school students on my docket today. If you're a high school student and I'm missing something, let me know. And I'll walk you through the teen court process and see if you want to do it. So with that, I'm just moving forward, and it does look like on the Buvana Poly case, attorneys are back in the room. So let's go ahead and start there. Sirs, if we can check in.
Your Honor, Mr. Garby has an offer he's going to take back to his client. And if we could get a reset date, I think we need to push it out a little bit further though.
Okay.
Mr. Garby said he's going to be out of town on the 19th.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, if we could do that. I know that I just checked our calendar, and both Mr. Martin and Ms. McMahon are going to be in other courts, so we're spread kind of thin. So if we could move it just to whatever the next docket is, would be great.
Well, I could look at the 2nd of January.
Your Honor, we may have to look at the 9th of January because I am going to be unavailable on the 2nd.
Okay, then the 9th it is.
Okay. And Judge, I'm 99% sure we'll have it resolved by then. I anticipate that.
Well, I understand, and I appreciate the good faith effort, but you never know. And if not, then we have a backup date. And if just to catch us moving forward. So we'll send that reset for the 9th of January. Can we email that to the email we've been using?
That would be great, Your Honor.
Okay, then without further requests, unless you have any questions, Attorney Garby, you're good to go.
No, just wanted to be excused, ma'am. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you and happy holidays. And Mr. Mattson, just moving you forward with Attorney Stone. And let's get your audio working and then we'll go forward.
All right.
Great, there we go. Okay, we'll see you back shortly, gentlemen. And I would like to talk to Devonia Seastrunk. Let's see, where did you go? There you are. Are you able to hold still and focus for a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. So we had just, I'm going to review out loud to make sure we're on the same page, okay?
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
Okay, so let's see, community service due November 21st. You let us know you had about maybe 31 hours. You
Mhm.
let us know after the due date. We didn't have a timesheet yet because you were waiting to get it signed.
Yes, ma'am.
Then the next thing we knew, there was a payment plan, but no income. And
Oh,
so,
no. Oh,
and so a couple of questions. It's okay. We'll get to what you need to tell me. But
Yeah.
where did you do the work?
At Churches Saving Lives. I think that's what it's called.
Churches Touching Lives for Christ.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that on the list? Yeah. And have you been able to get them to sign off on the papers?
Well, I have the old one, but that one only has like 12 hours on it. I had gave him the new one that you had signed and changed over, and they was waiting for like the man that was over the program to come and sign it. And I went back yesterday, but they said he still haven't signed it. So that's what I
Okay.
was waiting on.
I'd like to get those hours in and credit you before we take the next step.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the next question I have, we'll come back to that in a moment.
Mhm.
Are you working at this time?
I just started like last week.
Okay, where are you working?
I work on care.
On Care?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the name of the company?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is your position?
I do CNA work.
Okay. And so you don't know your take home yet because you just started?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay. I'm just gonna make a note. And your expenses were very reasonable the last time we checked in, but I don't know if things have changed. I know you have children at home. You had rent and you had a cell phone. Do you have other bills?
That's it.
Okay. So what I would like to do is give you another 2 weeks reset to
Mhm.
come in and set up a payment plan, which I can approve, but I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
you to turn in your hours if we're gonna get them
Yes, ma'am.
in 2 weeks so that we can start with that credit first, right?
Okay. All right.
Because if you had 45 and you've done 30, 31,
Oh, I
that's
thought it was 60.
let's see. Let me look. I have notes, so let me just double check
Okay.
that. No, it's 45.
Oh, okay.
So however many you turn in, okay,
Yes,
you still can do some. I'm gonna extend you till December 19th, okay?
yes, ma'am.
And it's still gonna say 45. You don't need to transfer them over. I just
Mhm.
can't count them more than once, but
Okay.
you can even just turn in the 12 if you can't get the other ones verified. But if you finish them up, then we're good to go. And if not, you'll be allowed to come in, turn in your hours, and set up a payment plan of $30 a month.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll just email a new timesheet so you'll have your due date on it. But the paper you use to turn it in,
Mhm.
you use whichever paper you want, but I'm going to send it to you so you have the due date in writing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Okay. So I'm just making a note that I'm extending you to 12/19.
So since you're extending it, can I go ahead and finish up the hours?
Yes.
Okay.
For any and all hours possible.
Okay.
And then I'm allowing a payment plan for the rest of it if you choose.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not done. And I'll just make a note of $30 a month
Yes, ma'am.
in that case. And then if there's any kind of problem, like you can't do that, or you can't get the hours, or you see that your income isn't going to be what you thought it was, then, we might need to visit again. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, that's it.
Okay. Right now, I'm just looking for your hours still.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And that due date is December 19th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any and all could get turned in.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're good to go, Miss Seastrunk, unless you have
Thank you.
questions. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Attorney Stone and Mattson, can y'all give me an update on the Hammerschmidt case?
Your Honor, Mr. Stone's gonna take a couple of different options back to his client. If we could reconvene on the 19th, I think that would work for everybody.
Okay. Can we use the email that we've been using, Attorney Stone?
Yes, Your Honor, that's perfect.
Okay. Great.
And
Then,
will it be at the same time, Your Honor?
yes,
Okay, perfect. So on 12/19 at 9 a.m.?
yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I sure appreciate it, Judge.
You're welcome, and you're good to withdraw unless you have any further questions.
No, that's it. Thank you, Judge. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Happy holidays.
Same to you, sir.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so Mr. Mattson, your next person is actually Ruby Vasquez, I believe is the name we have, but I believe Ruby Del Real is the same person. Is that right, ma'am?
Yes, Del Real is my maiden name.
Okay. And if you have that on an ID, we can change it if you bring it by, but I'm going to go ahead and move y'all forward to have a conversation. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Give me a moment just to catch up my list here. Okay. If I could talk to Renee Wright. Ms. Wright, are you able to unmute and hold still for a few minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I recognize that you're at work. If you move around a lot, the connection won't be great. Are you okay for a couple minutes?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So I did, what happened was I received an email requesting a payment plan or a deferral. And then we contacted and said, where are you trying to go? And the statement was, I can't make payment. And so I felt like I needed to check in. I know you've had a financial strain and that things are very, very tight for you. And I do see that strain on the paperwork that you submitted. Is your daughter still living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is she still in high school?
No, ma'am. She just graduated.
Okay. Is she working?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is she contributing to bills and expenses at this time?
Somewhat. She really don't make much, but she helps out a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, the lady that I spoke with, I was telling her that I can make like $50 payments. And I don't know, I think she told me that I had to get 3 months worth of insurance.
Right. So with a deferral, what I will typically do when I grant that is that I will ask that the person submit proof that they've gotten 3 months of insurance as part of that deferral. Because during the deferral, I want to make sure that they're driving with insurance.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I usually give you 30 days to do that. I can talk about that with you. And then as far as paying the bond of 181, I can do 3 payments, which would be like $60 $60 and $61 spread out 30, 60, and 90 days out.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can talk to you just specifically about when you get paid and sort of work on that a little bit with you. And I would grant the deferral if we can get to those targets. So I guess the first question is, if we do 60, 60, and $61, will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And just looking at a calendar, and I don't know when you're paid, what day of the week. I know it's every other week. What day is it that you're paid?
On Friday.
Is that this Friday or was it last Friday?
This Friday.
This coming Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can we look at the 19th of January for the first payment?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a little bit longer than 30 days, but honestly, with the holidays, I just think it's too hard.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And then two pay dates later would be February the 16th. Can we do the second payment?
Yes, ma'am.
And then two pay dates after that would be March 15th. Can we do the final payment on that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can we get insurance? Now, as far
the
as,
insurance
yes, go ahead.
I can get, but I probably won't be able to get 3 months worth.
Right. So what we can do in that event is you get insurance, you tell me the date, and then a month later you bring in another month of insurance.
Okay.
And then a month later you bring in a month of insurance. So we can do it that way instead.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will that work?
Yes, ma'am. That will work perfect.
Can you start with the insurance? I know you said it on the 11th. Can we have insurance on the 19th of January?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can turn in a month of insurance at that time. And then you can turn in a month of insurance with the second payment and the third payment. Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then your deferral will wrap up and be over by April 3rd.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna need a signature on this document. When do you get off shift?
I'll be off in about the next 45 minutes. I can stop by and sign it.
Okay, we'll look for you around 10, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
That way you can have a copy of it too, okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. And if you run into any hurdles that aren't anticipated, come in and talk to us, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Matson, I see that you and Ms. Del Real, formerly Vasquez, have reached or come out of your meeting. Where are we on this matter?
Your Honor, Miss Del Real has been given an offer. If we could just reset to the 19th, so she has some time to think about it. I anticipate that this case will be resolved before that date.
Okay, I'm gonna set it then for this Zoom format in case we need it. And can I email that to you, ma'am, to the email that we used for today's meeting?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, if it's not resolved, then we're in the meeting, okay? Thank you. You're good to
Thank you.
go unless you have any further questions.
That was all. Thank you so much. You guys have a good day.
You too. You're good to hang up. And then Mr. Matson, the next person that I have for you to visit with is Mr. Alexander. And let me move, yes, can you unmute so we know your audio is working still?
Hello?
Yes, great, that's perfect. And I'm gonna move y'all over to that breakout meeting. And Ms. Kimmer, you're just waiting on Mr. Matson as well, so we'll be back with you shortly. Let's see. I'm looking. much is Miss Kondarka ordered to pay? So no payment plan? Well, because she doesn't show up to do a payment plan. Yeah, no, I remember that. I just couldn't remember the payment arrangement. I was trying to set up a payment plan, but she's gonna have to show up. Well, she thinks she's gonna put it off. Okay, I need the note here to say judge's notes explain, allowed to go to warrant. And set payments, C notes. She can set up payments up until the time that she goes to warrant. She has to put $70 down and then sign for those payments.
Okay.
And I'm not doing anything else for her until she shows up. So I've even called the number and it doesn't work, so. I don't see how I can work with her. She's not here. She never turns up for court. I have a note on a case and you entered it. It says email mail location denied. What does that mean?
They sent us a location. It was not.
It didn't work.
Yes. I think that's the one that was a football or
Mhm.
one that came up with the basketball game.
Mhm. And then we got an email from them, so. Okay, where are we with Mr. Alexander's cases?
All right, Your Honor. So we have quite a few things on our plate. So I think it's best if we reset for that January 9th date that we gave to Mr. Garby. I want to give Mr. Alexander time to comply with the requirements I've laid out for him. And if he's not able to do so, then we're going to reconvene and figure out a new path.
Okay, Should we, let's see, that's the 19th. That's 2 weeks from today.
I was looking at January 9th, Your Honor.
Oh,
primarily
January, I'm sorry.
because
Yeah,
the
January
salary
9th
had
is,
been-
no, January 9th is fine,
Okay,
but we're staying online, is that right?
yes, Your Honor, I think that that's still appropriate for this case.
Okay, and Mr. Alexander, can we email that extension to the email that we were using for today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you are good to go with the thanks of the court.
Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too. Ms. Kimmer, can you unmute and get on screen? Ashley Kimmer, can you unmute and get on screen? There you go. Okay. Oh, you remuted. There we go.
Sorry, I'm trying to work my nephew's Chromebook. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. There's a slight delay, but I
Okay.
can hear you. I'm going to move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Okay.
Okay, if we can have an update on the Kimmer case.
Your Honor, I'm actually gonna have to review this case a bit more. It appears that the wrong person was issued the citation. The signature on the line is Miss Kemmer's sister. So I need to double check on how Ashley Kemmer's information was put on the ticket when she was not the one pulled over.
Okay, so right now, Miss Kimmer, it's in your name, and so we still have to have you be accountable, okay? I can reset it to give him an opportunity to do that deeper dive, and I would ask Mr. Mattson first, if we reset in 2 weeks, is that enough time?
Yeah, I'm gonna review this as soon as this Zoom meeting is over.
Okay, and it's possible, Ms. Kimmer, that the case can be dismissed if he makes that request. But until that happens, or unless something intervenes, we're gonna be back here on the 19th of December. Will that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll set it for this Zoom process since that's pretty convenient. And we'll go from there at that point, okay?
Okay. I have a question for him though. Can he hear me?
He can hear you.
Oh, do you think you'll finish that before then, or am I gonna have to go through more of this?
No, I'm gonna try and get it finished today.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anything further from either party?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
We can email to the email that we used for today. Is that right, Ms. Kimmer?
I didn't get an email. I went down to the municipal court building and got all the paperwork when they told me I had a court date. So
How did you have the link for today? Did we not send it to you?
they know they gave me all this paperwork.
Okay, what is your email then?
Ashley Kimmer 2019@gmail.com.
ASHLEY
KEMMER 2019@gmail.com.
and Ashley Kimmer is one word, no capitals.
Yes.
2019@gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay, we'll use that. If you don't get that link sometime today, check in with us, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, we'll email that to you. That way you can just click on it if you wind up needing to be in the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.